41, War Day 5, Rat Satan's Wrath. Third point of view. The teacher were up early watching the green bean sleep peacefully for once and the heroes have a little break. This peace however wasn't for long. Nezu planned to get Aizawa involved in the game as the situation is getting more dangerous for Izuku and the young boy is currently walking on thin ice. Once slip up and he could get in serious life-threatening situations. He was already reckless enough but his plans were flawless. Nezu was impressed by Izuku's planning and quick thinking that he already decided to take Midoriya as his own personal student. He believed that Aizawa was also more than willing to take Izuku as his protégé. However, the Chimera didn't like to share his son. Izuku. Thanks Recovery Girl. Recovery Girl was furious at Izuku for 1. Being so reckless and getting hurt all the time and 2. Breaking the bones of his classmates even if it was completely unnecessarily. However, she couldn't be angry at him for long. After hearing the gratitude of Izuku with his usually smile, she already forgot how mad she was at him. Nezu. I believe it is time Aizawa. Aizawa only nodded in response before he made his way to the villain lair. Nezu paused. Izuku. Nezu, I want an explanation. Why is Aizawa-sensei running in the tunnels? I wasn't expecting that Izuku could tell that Aizawa was on his way. It was impressive and the greenette never ceased to amaze me. How did he know that? If it were me down there I wouldn't have known it. There is not a single indication that I have sent Aizawa down to him nor did I give him an explanation why he was there. So how did you know that? I was grinning from ear to ear. It was thrilling for me to see that there was something new that I couldn't figure out. Me. Oh dear, so you could tell? If you don't mind me asking Izuku, but how did you know he is in the tunnels? Izuku. Matter of fact, I am not deaf. I can hear his footing echoing, and by the sound of it he is getting closer and I want to know why. I didn't do anything wrong. So he could hear his footsteps echoing? What amazing senses he has. I wonder what else he is capable of doing. Me. Oh no, quite the contrary. The show you did yesterday was quite unique and Izuku. Exhaling, don't tell me I need to face my teacher's wrath. I should have known that he would immediately presume that he would get punished for it. It pains me to think that I made Izuku think that he did something bad when it was quite the opposite. The things he accomplished so far were more than enough for anyone to see what an amazing hero he will be. Sometimes I do wonder what he planned next. It was hard to read his moves. This was also one of the reasons he was so fascinating to me. I do wonder what IQ level he has. After this, I need to ask him to go through a test in order for me to evaluate it. As far as I can tell, he did hide his intelligence, fighting skills and also health issues. It was already day 5 and he didn't eat anything for more than 3 days in a row, even barely getting something to drink and sleep. That couldn't be healthy. On top of that, every time he takes a villain down he would injure himself to appear more believable. Needless to say his mental health isn't the greatest. He does jump on certain occasion, faintly but it was still there. I could see him flinch at some physical interactions. He didn't like to be touched much, that is what I concluded. Me. No, that's not quite it. I made a proposal and Eraserhead was willing to accept it. If you beat him in a fight of stealthiness he will become a valuable asset to you, a partner in this game. Izuku. You mean a villain or an informant? Me. A villain in terms of the game. However, if you lose the hero side wins by default. He will get the hint, he is a smart one. Izuku. Do I get a say in this? Me. No. Izuku, sarcasm. Ah, great, how lovely. Me. Nice to see that we have come to the same agreement. Izuku. Am I at least allowed to use everything I have on me to defend myself? Me. My, of course. Here is the condition: you will fight until one of you give up or is unable to move for more than 10 sec or is not able to move. Izuku. All right. Me. Good luck. Time skip brought to you by A Mouth Wide Open starring All Might. Izuku. Checkmate. Me. Congrats. Now would you be so kind and let him free? I looked around to see the reactions of my teachers and saw their faces. All of them were shocked, except 3 people. Mike and Midnight were laughing at the display they just saw and All Might was staring at the monitor mouth wide open. First, he looked at it stunned, then shocked. This evolved into anger. Mental note to myself. Let Izuku beat his ass. No, scratch that. I will do it myself. Me. All Might, what do you have to say to this? All Might. That was unacceptable for my successor. My smile dropped. I could tell where this is going. He beat Aizawa quirkless and All Might naturally was disappointed, but he should be proud that his successor was able to do this without his quirk. Too many heroes rely on their quirks too much. However, All Might himself was once quirkless. Thinking this made me even more angrier at the man. Me. I believe you are not happy to see him still refusing to use his quirk? All Might. He is stupid to not see how much luck he just had. Luck, you said? This had nothing to do with luck. He beat Aizawa fair and square with his own skills. How stupid can you be? Even a chimpanzee is more intelligent at this point. I am disappointed that he needed to train with such a mentor like you. I promise Izu I won't let you train with him anymore. I will find you a better teacher. Me. I believe you forgot that you too were once quirkless. All Might. I didn't. I trained my body my whole life and was lucky to get one for all. When I found Izuku, he was weak and needed to train his body excessively. Me. Oh, is that so? Care to say another word against quirkless people? I dare you, please do go on so that I can punish you for breaking the law. I do take quirk discrimination seriously. All Might opened and closed his mouth immediately. Oh, so that giant orangutan can think, when needed. Everyone was staring at me and All Might. I didn't care. No one offends my green bean and gets away with it unscathed. At this point everyone in the room got the message and retuned to watch the monitors. I too went back to watch it, but on the contrary to most of the others I only had my eyes on Izuku. Time skip brought to you by A Mouth Wide Open starring All Might. Present Mike Pav. Peef Caterpillar? Where did the little listener get this idea from? I mean, I do see the similarities. But still, a caterpillar, he is more a caterpillar. I was holding back my laughter until Midnight burst out loud and I too couldn't help myself any longer. A tear slipped down my cheek as I was laughing too hard. It was funny to see Izuku be so cheeky. After watching Izuku beat my husband, nothing was surprising me anymore. I knew that the kid was good, but not that good, and on top of it to managing to make him jealous too? Midnight. Did you hear him, Zashi? Me. Yes, caterpillar tilde. Ha 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 ha, I need to call Sho that sometimes when he is laying in his sleeping bag. Midnight. Please do. Midnight. Hey, what do you think if we spent some time with Midoriya after this? I am sure he is fun to be with. Me. Sure thing, the little listener already grew on me. Recovery girl. I know, it is hard to be angry with him for long, isn't it? I couldn't believe Recovery girl was thinking so too. At this point, it wouldn't surprise me if everyone in this room was thinking the same. I didn't believe it first after what he did to Shinso, especially when we worked so hard to get him past his traumas and now he has new ones. I still was wondering why Izuku didn't eliminate him. He had plenty of times to do so. However, one thing was for sure. Nezu had his eyes on Izuku and he was awfully protective about the greenette at this point. One wrong move and anyone would face Nezu's wrath, and the little creature was hella scary. I would even go so far as to call him Rat Satan. Knowing that the students thought otherwise, they referred to Nezu as Rat God, which gave him the wrong ideas sometimes. For someone so intelligent, he sure knows how to get everything he wants. Me. Say Nezu, do you know why the little listener didn't eliminate Shinso? Nezu. Why indeed? It is a good question, seeing as he had plenty of opportunities to do it. The only thing I could think of is that Izuku still have plans for him and need him in the game. I would also go so far as to say that his plans probably will end up for the boy to either relive some past trauma or to create a completely new one. Me. Wait, does that mean that you don't know what he is planning? My face drained from all the colors it had. I never saw Nezu that excited before. This is not good. Nezu. Oh, don't worry, Hound Dog will surely make time to help Shinso get over it. The fact that Nezu didn't oppose Izuku made me wonder on whose side he was won. He was looking more like Satan to me now than before. Midnight. On which side are you even on? She was asking the question I was wondering. It was a dangerous one, but it needed to be asked. The room temperature seemed to drop drastically and the atmosphere was so intense that you could literally tear it apart. Nezu. Oh, on my student side, Why do you ask? Oh no. Did he just say his student? He didn't say students, no, he said his student. This situation is even worse. I looked to my side and made eye contact with Nomori. I saw how she opened and closed her mouth. I shook my head to signal her to stop asking any further. The ice we were currently on was already thin enough, but she couldn't help herself. Midnight. Your student? Who are you talking about? You don't have a personal student. Nezu. Oh, Izuku Midoriya, of course. It was nice seeing that Nezu took an interest in Midoriya as he needed someone, but Nezu wasn't the best option there is. It was scary if you anger the mouse thing, and he already was angry at All Might. That much I could tell, but now he looked proud to announce this. I am pretty sure if those two minds get together in one room, world domination isn't far away. The only question was, is this a bad thing or not? I honestly couldn't tell. As far as I know Midoriya, he has a heart of gold, and I would be happy if he would one day rule upon Earth, but Nezu was the opposite. If Izuku was an pure innocent angel, Nezu was the devil himself. And mixing both together doesn't sound good. Time skip brought to you by Powerloader in grief of another loss of his precious babies. Third Pav. Vlad King. Still can't believe he has some binding cloth. Where did he get that even from? Powerloader. Not from May, that much I can tell. Nezu. I might have an idea where he got that from. Mike. Wanna share the information? Nezu. Oh my, of course. I believe he stole that from Shinso. Mike. But Shinso had his on the whole time? Nezu. I thought more like he stole it before he entered the game. Does Shinso have an extra one? Mike. Yes, he does. He always somehow manages to destroy his. Powerloader. How? Mike. Don't know. Don't even ask. He manages to destroy one every month. Powerloader. Oh, that's why Eraser was ordering so many of them. Mike. Yep. Midnight. Still doesn't explain how Izuku learned to use it. Mike. I can guarantee you that Shota didn't teach him, he was busy getting Shinso to learn using it. And believe me, he does complain about it a lot. Nezu. He might have self-taught himself that. Teachers. What? How? Nezu. I do believe that his IQ is near to mine, and if that's the case he should be able to do that with ease. Midnight. Now I am scared of the little cinnamon roll. Mike. Just now? Midnight. I still think he is cute. Vlad King. There is no longer any hope for you. Time skip brought to you by Recovery Girl whacking someone with her cane to get the anger out of her system. After the blackout, everyone was concerned at the state of the students, especially Izuku's. While Recovery Girl was busy healing Ojiro, she instructed Aizawa to bring Izuku back at his villain lair and lay him down until she came. Nezu and the others watched Izuku struggle to stand up. Aizawa was trying his best to calm Izuku down, but the Greenette didn't let it happen. Even after they told him to calm down, he only got more angry at All Might for calling him my boy. Nezu. Recovery Girl. How much longer do you need? Recovery Girl. I am already working as fast as I can. I am not the young woman I once was. Nezu. All Might. How could you do the same mistake again? Nezu was furious. Izuku already told the hero once he didn't want to be called my boy, and here he was doing it again. What's worst is that Izuku looked like he was actually bleeding a lot, if not even bleeding out, and thanks to All Might he began struggling more, thus making his injuries even worse. Nezu. This will have consequences. The creature never raised his voice to anyone, and here he was screaming at the #1 pro hero. Nezu soon began telling him what the consequence were and how he would see to it, to ruin the man's life. This went on until Aizawa burst open the door. That shocked everyone. No one saw what was happening. They were too focused to try and calm Nezu down and get the creature away from ripping All Might's head off. Aizawa. What the fucking hell is going on here? With that, everyone turned and saw the beaten-up underground hero. Mike immediately ran at his side. Mike. What happened to you? Aizawa. Didn't you watch anything? Midnight. No, we were too busy trying to get Nezu not to kill All Might in front of us. Aizawa raised an eyebrow. He couldn't believe what he was hearing. The sleep-deprived hero was fighting love members and a Nomu, and here they were trying to de-escalate an equally frightening situation. Nezu looked back at the cameras, as he knew that Aizawa should be with Izuku. The moment he saw Aizawa in the door frame out of breath and slightly beaten up, The mouse thing got a bad feeling, and his feeling was right. Izuku was nowhere to be found. What he found instead was a lot more concerning. A Nomu laying down unconscious in the villain lair where Izuku should have been. The next moment a portal opened and the Nomu disappeared. Nezu. What happened to him? Aizawa. They took him. Nezu immediately understood the situation. He knew that his teacher couldn't do anything. He was lucky to get out of there with a few injuries. Aizawa was mentally beating himself up for it. He was with his problem child the whole time and couldn't do anything to protect him. He felt bad, knowing that he was in danger right now. If he would find Izuku, he promised to himself to never let the child face any more dangerous situations. He would make sure to be by his side and make sure that the love wouldn't hurt him any more than necessary. All Might. What? How could you let him be taken? It was clearly to everyone in the room that Aizawa did his best, and yet here he was questioning the underground hero's capability. Mike. Oh, you don't have to say another word. Midnight. He did his best. How can you ask such a thing? Recovery Girl came to All Might's side and began smacking him with her cane. Recovery Girl. I hope I can smack some sense into you. They were all angry with him. Nezu. There is nothing we can do now, let's watch and hope he is okay. Even if the teacher didn't want to sit there and do nothing, there was simply nothing they could do about the situation. Time skip brought to you by a rabbit back in business. At some point, the monitors that displayed the hero's headquarters insight were shut down. Power loader. Look, Nezu. I want them back on as fast as you can. Power loader. I can't. I am banned from the system. Someone hacked into it. Nezu. Let me see. Nezu went to power loader and watched the screen of the laptop the hero uses to try and bring the cameras back on. The mouse thing looked over the code only to see that it was flawless and there was a hidden message for him from Izuku, that he was back. Nezu was relieved to see that and became even more intrigued. Nezu. Interesting. Vlad King. How is that interesting? Someone hacked into the system. Power loader. This time I am on Nezu's side. It really is interesting to see someone to be able to display this high skill of programming. I am certainly impressed. Vlad King. Don't you think it is the wrong time to be impressed? No one answered him back. Aizawa soon was snapped out from watching the weird change in behavior of the principal by a sting on his hand. The moment he looked down, he saw some blood. What was more spooky, the blood was spelling a word. Lair was written on his hand. Eraserhead's eyes widened at the sight of the small drone sitting on his hand. There was only one person that was able to control them, and it was Izuku. Not wanting to throw any time away, he immediately ran back to the villain lair. Once he was there, he took his sleeping bag and laid himself beside the entrance. Yamada saw his husband ran out of the room. Confused, he looked back at the camera to only see that the hero headquarters were back online and his husband was chilling on the floor in the villain lair. Mike. What is going on? Hound dog. Not again. Vlad King. Well, this kid sure loves blood more than anything. Mike. How much fake blood did you give him? Nezu. Enough to probably fill the whole room. Why? Recovery Girl. I suggest you look at the second monitor. Nezu. Oh dear. Recovery Girl. Yes, oh dear. Midnight. Can we please remove the remaining fake blood from his arsenal? Hound dog. I would have suggested it earlier if I had known that you gave him that much. Nezu. He asked for it. Hound dog. So only because he asked for it, you gave it to him? Nezu. Yes, that, and because I wanted to see what he would need it for. I see no problem in that. Hound dog. Sigh. The hero then face-palmed himself. Hound dog. Seriously. You sometimes act as if you are not the smartest person on earth. Recovery Girl. Ectoplasm, go and remove all the fake blood from his villain lair. Nezu. I am not against it, you should probably go now while he isn't there, or I am sure he will fight you for it. Ectoplasm. On my way. Nezu wasn't opposed to the idea since he knew that Izuku had a second villain lair and in his second one there were no cameras.